Hi, I'm Albert. Today, my teammate and I will discuss on the topic of the regulations of bond markets in Malaysia. The Malaysia bond and sukuk market is supervised by the Bank Negara Malaysia and the Securities Commission. These two regulators assume a dual job function. First, they are responsible to administer and supervise the market intermediaries and the exercises in the market. Second, they play a role in supporting and building up the market framework and cultivating a conducive environment for all the players in the bond market. Next, I will discuss in detail on the role of Bank Negara Malaysia and the Security Commissions. Bank Negara Malaysia, also called the Bank, is the central bank of Malaysia. The bank was established on 26 January 1959 under the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 1958. The principal goal of the bank will be to promote monetary stability and financial stability, which helpful for the sustainable development of the Malaysian economy. In order for the bank to meet its objective, it has been vested with comprehensive legal powers under different acts to administer and regulate the financial system. These laws enable the bank to regulate organizations involving banks, investment banks, money brokers, insurance companies, as well as the development financial institutions, which are the major players in the domestic bond and sukuk market. Meanwhile, the Security Commission was established on 1st March 1993 under the Securities Commission Act 1993. The role of the SC is to cultivate and promote transparent, fair, secure, and efficient securities and future markets. The SC managed the Security Industry Act 1983, which administered a considerable part of exercises and activities in the domestic bond market. It is also responsible to safeguard the investor interest of the bond market.
So first we will talk about the regulatory process by issuer type. So we have grouped the issuer into resident issuer and also non-resident issuer. So under resident issuer, we have non-financial institute, financial institute, ROB, and also issuer other than ROB, which issue foreign currency denominated bond and sukuk. So to get the approval from Securities Commission Malaysia, the approval is required for retail bond and sukuk only. So for offering targeted and sophisticated investor, they will have to follow the large and long framework. So for Bank Negara Malaysia approval, the approval is only required for issuance of non-tradable private debt securities to non-resident. So for approval of issuer other than LOB, the approval is required under certain circumstances only. So for Bursa Malaysia Securities approval, the approval is required for all three types of issuance. So for non-resident issuer, basically the issuance process is almost similar. So only the difference is in Bank Negara Malaysia level. So in Bank Negara Malaysia level, the non-financial institute and financial institute, the approval is required. So for issuance of foreign currency denominated bond, the approval is not required from Bank Negara Malaysia. So next we will talk about the overview of the regulatory process of bond in Malaysia. So in Malaysia market, the principal advisor will have the appointed by the issuer for the document submission to SC for approval. So if the issuer want to have their bond listing under Bursa Malaysia, they will have to engage with Bursa Malaysia Securities to get the listing application and approval. So if the issuer is a non-resident issuer or is a resident issuer which offering a foreign currency denominated bond the the offering is a non-tradable Malaysian ringgit denominated bond to a non-resident investor, then the issuer have to get approval from Bank Negara Malaysia first. So after the Bank Negara Malaysia approval, then the issuer have to submit all the document under through a principal advisor to Securities Commission to get approval. So basically, this is the regulatory process framework of issuing a bond in Malaysian market. Thank you.
To look at a regulatory process for non-resident issuance of bonds and sukuk. First, it's launch and launch framework non-resident issuer. Needed from BNM for non-resident issuer before they issue Malaysian ringgit denominated bonds, notes, or sukuk in Malaysia. Non-resident issuer will be considered as corporation under Section 2(1) CMSA or as non-Malaysian government. Non-resident issuers does not have quotas or allocations of issuance. There are main two steps. Those are submission of application for approval to Bank Negara Malaysia and approval from Bank Negara Malaysia. Being a non-resident issuer of Malaysian ringgit note or sukuk should submit approval application to Foreign Exchange Administration Department in Bank Negara Malaysia. Submission to BNM may be directly to them or through an advisor or through principal advisor to the non-resident issuer. The application should include all other among items, the information outlined in the appendix. Bank Negara Malaysia does not levy a fee for this approval process. First, it starts with profile of the issuer, credit rating report and name of credit rating, type of sukuk or bonds, size of issuance, currency of issuance, lead manager, and so on. Next, we are focusing on second steps. Application will be reviewed by Foreign Exchange Administration Department. Response from Bank Negara Malaysia would be within 15 days upon full receipt of information. Within 2 years of BNM, issuer should obtain approval from Security Commission. The issuer would have option to use Malaysian dominated bond or swap with issuance with foreign currency. The swap arrangement must be undertaken with a licensed onshore bank or back-to-back with the licensed onshore bank in Malaysia. No restriction on the tenure of swap transaction provided that it does not exceed the maturity date of the underlying transaction.
Greetings, Dr. Roslan and my fellow friends. Today, I'm Mohammad Nishan bin Mohammad Hafiz Ramesh. I'll be presenting on the regulatory process for offers to retail investors. The Section 212 of the CMS states that all debt securities and sukuk offerings in the Malaysian market requires SC's prior approval, with the exception of government securities and sophisticated investor offers. SC are the security commissions. This requirement for approval applies regardless of the issuer's domicile. The format and the content of the prospectus itself is subject to its specification by the Security Commission in the Prospectus Guideline 2012. If retail debt securities or sukuk are offered under an AMCF initiative, the prospectus must comply with the ASEAN disclosure standards. The following steps describe the actions to be taken during the issuance and approval process by the relevant parties. Let's see step 1. Yeah, actually that is 2 steps. Step 1. Submission of application for approval to the Securities Commission Malaysia. The principal advisor to an issuer of a retail investor offer in Malaysia will have to submit a request for approval to the Security Commissions. But hard copy and electronic submissions are actually, both hard copy and electronic submissions are actually accepted. The key documents to be presented to the Security Commission is the prospectus, which must be complete and full comply with the prospective guideline requirements of Division 2. Step 2. Step 2 is getting approval from Security Commissions Malaysia. The Security Commission reviews the issuance application and information and documents provided. The Security Commissions may give feedback and criticism as fundamental in regards to the application. The Security Commissions may request additional reports or data from the backer or the principal advisor. The Security Commissions may approve or approve the application under revisions or under certain terms and conditions. The Security Commission may also refuse the request for reasons set out in CMSA Section 214A, including false or misleading statements. The Security Commission actually has approval for issuance, is valid for both issuance for a period of 1 year or for debt programs for 2 years. Any revisions to the main terms and conditions of the proposed bond, note, or sukuk issuance already approved by the supply chain but not yet issued will require fresh Security Commission's approval. By contrast, if one node or sukuk which is approved by the Security Commission has been issued, any change to PTC will not require further approval by the Security Commissions. Thank you so much for all. This is done. This is from me, Muhammad Ishaq.
Good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to explain about regulatory process for wholesale bonds in Sukuk. So before I explain the process, let me to explain about the lodgement kit. So basically, the lodgement kit is like a regulation sets by security commissions for unlisted capital market products under the Lodge and Launch framework. So as we know, all the issuance of bonds and Sukuk requires approval. So formal approval from the Security Commission is nowadays is not required when all the documents is provided, and because the lodgement of necessary documents can be done electronically via the Security Commission dedicated online submission system. So when we talk about launch framework and on PDS and Sukuk, so the provisions of the launch and launch framework are also applicable for PDS and Sukuk issued in Malaysia and offered only to investors outside Malaysia. In the case, if let's say a resident issuer intends to issue non-tradable PDS Sukuk to non-resident investors, so as what explained by one of my colleagues, Mr. Rama, prior approval from BNM would need to be obtained. So there are two basic and crucial steps under launch and launch framework in Malaysia. Step one is online submission to Securities Commission Malaysia. Step two is launch of products under the launch and launch framework. So basically, step one is what I said, online submission. So there is two things, which is one is bonds and sukuk. So the approval for bonds should come from Bank Negara Malaysia, which is 2 years prior to Securities Commission. While for sukuk, the approval from Securities Commission Islamic Capital Market Development. So when we got the approval, the lodgement is to be completed by the issuer or the principal advisor. The lodgement may be done at any time prior to the launch of the product. For Suku, the initial lodgement is prescribed to be done at least 10 business days. So, if let's say any revisions to the documents, it requires us to resubmit the full set of documentation and disclosure informations. So when we move to second and last step, which is launch of products under the launch and launch framework. So under the launch and launch framework, no formal approval for the issuance of debt instruments or Sukuk is required from the SC. So in this, I would like to highlight two basic and main points, which is the debt securities and Sukuk must be launched within 60 business days from the launchment date. Otherwise, the launch authorization will be null and void. Besides that, let's say in the case of debt or Sukuk program, the first issuance under the program must be launched within 60 business days. So the ability to launch PDS and Sukuk commences after the fee payment to Security Commission is paid. So that's all for me. The other part of this project will be explained by other colleagues. So thanks for your time. Have a nice day.
So I'll be talking about market entry requirement for foreign investor. So there will be no restriction for the foreign investor to invest in the bond market, and the issuance is based on the regulation and relevant authorities from Malaysia, either in different form of currency, but any form of currency, but except for currency in Israel. And with the services that online shore bank provided, the foreign issuer able to operate and manage their bond profit and interest with as long as with the onshore licensed bank provided services. As and also the appointed onshore licensed bank will take part in managing their bond, which mainly in the Malaysia ringgit, either in Malaysia ringgit or either in a foreign currency, as long as required from the foreigner investor. And while for the market exit requirement, the foreigners are also not restricted to exit with with any limitations. They are freely to require the fund for redemption either in the form of interest, profit gaining, bonds, and note payment of local bond currency, a bond security that may be remitted back to Malaysia. They can swap and switch the currency of the bond either in the form of the profit gainings, the notes, and sukuk to the desired currency it should be seated. There are no ban or bar of the amount for the foreign currency that may be remitted, but there is a need of a local licensed bank authority or appointed overseas office of a licensed onshore bank with a back-to-back agreement to perform the conversion transaction of foreign currency exchange if requested by them. So this would be my part. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nurul Hidayah. So today I am going to talk on the regulations on credit rating agencies in Malaysia. So the role of credit rating agencies in Malaysia has been significant in contributing to the development of the corporate bond market. Malaysia is one of the first countries in the world which the securities market regulator required the recognition of CRA for rating bond, note or sukuk issue. This requirement is an acknowledgement of the extremely important role of CRAs in evaluating the probability of default of debt securities or sukuk and the importance investors place on ratings for their investments decision. CRAs are required to be registered with the Securities Commission (SC) Malaysia for rating debt instruments or sukuk pursuant to the Guidelines on Registration of Credit Rating Agencies. CRAs are required to obey the international standards and best practices in all their business activities. A CRA is required to adopt the International Organization of Securities Commission (IOSCO) CRA code in its own code of conduct and to disclose this on its website. So where there are CRA's code of conduct differs, the rating agency must explain where and why these differences exist and fully disclose such explanation on its website. Other than that, the SC guidelines also state explicitly the minimum capital requirements and a favorable shareholding structure. The necessities on transparency, objectivity and independence prescribe full disclosure of approaches and processes and a sound governance structure in line with the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance. The registration criteria for credit rating agencies contain a number of specific expectations for the rating review of bonds. In addition, the CRA is expected to maintain and report to the SC a list of defaults by rating category on an annual basis. The SC has approved two domestic CRAs for the conduct of rating businesses in Malaysia. One is Rating Agency Malaysia, now known as RAM Holdings, was established in November 1990, and second is Malaysian Rating Corporation (MARC), which was incorporated in October 1995. So thank you for listening. Bye.